Alright, so the previous video that I made basically showcasing what I did with the platforms and the half pipe section. I deleted, you know what I'm saying? I forgot the reason why I deleted it. But this is the updated version, you know what I'm saying? This is how I'm gonna layer it, you know what I'm saying? Cause I felt like the original design was a little bit bare or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I came in here with a bunch of these Xtone blocks, you know what I'm saying? And just add a little bit more flair to the design or whatever. And I also wanted to make the platform 3D or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So what I did was actually double up on the platform design. And same thing as always, you know what I'm saying? This is 100% mold proof, you know what I'm saying? So down here on the original platform level or whatever, this is where I added all the Xtone blocks or whatever. I was just playing around with it, and looked decent, you know what I'm saying? It looked decent, you know what I'm saying? And the original design or whatever was all these teal blocks, even though it's really realistically blue. But these teal blocks right here, and I did it for both sides, and I was playing around with it on different block variations or whatever. So I used the exchanging gadget from building gadgets too, and I just exchanged some of the blocks out for different blocks, and that's how I got this little design underneath here. And both sides, you know what I'm saying, and it worked out, you know what I'm saying. So over here we got gold basically going into teal. I didn't have this block right here, you know what I'm saying, just added this right here, gel variant 13, you know what I'm saying, give it a little bit of darker, what's the name, and it helped it blend in a little bit more, you know what I'm saying. Same thing over here, even though this is not really a gradient from white to gray to teal, you know what I'm saying, but it slides over nicely into the design of how it looks or whatever. So it worked out, you know what I'm saying. And then I doubled up the actual platform on top, you know what I'm saying, so you can look down. When you walk on top of this, you can look down and look in between it. It looks 3D, and that's the effect that I really wanted, you know what I'm saying. Down here, you know, just added some simple blocks around the sides or whatever, and then this 2-bar section right here, this section and this section right here, there was a possibility for mobs to spawn, so I just threw some illumination panels down here. You know what I'm saying? Right now I have the time turned off, you know what I'm saying, because it's a little bit distracting. I have the weather turned off or whatever, but I might turn it back on just to see what this looks like at nighttime, you know what I'm saying. And for whatever reason, like, it's funny when you're playing this or whatever, because it's almost like you lose the sense of your sense of time when you always have the sun out, you know what I'm saying. So that's another reason why I want to turn the time setting back on, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I feel like this looks nice, you know what I'm saying. It's almost approaching the point where it's a little bit too busy, but it's alright, you know what I'm saying. It gives me that science fiction high technology look that I was really looking for, like real futuristic look that I was looking for, that I try to, you know, aim for when I am building anything, you know what I'm saying. And it works out, you know what I'm saying. So this is the design that I'm gonna do base wide. Now this works off of all Xtone blocks or whatever, you know what I'm saying. Xtones is like the Xtones mod from back in the day. It's basically just a modern day variation of that. And this is the base block right here, this Xtone tile, you know what I'm saying, which is made basically off of just straight stone and stone slabs, you know what I'm saying. So these are just variations of that, you know what I'm saying. And usually it's just that same regular block with a die or whatever in the middle, you know what I'm saying. And I forgot what's the base for this one. Yeah, this is the base right here. So and I forgot to put this in. I gotta put the white dye in to make this. Yeah, so you gotta dye this one twice. This is important. I'll talk about this later on. But yeah, that's all it really is. Just a dye or some kind of block in between. You know what I'm saying? Once you make this base tile right here, you know what I'm saying. So this one in particular is orange dye. If I can find the recipes somewhere. Yeah, this is right here. And same thing with this one. This is yellow, I believe. No, this is a stick. To get that one. This one is gravel. to get this one. It's not too hard to actually make this. And this one right here is light gray dye. You know what I'm saying? So what I was talking about before in the last video, I was just basically showcasing this off and basically talking about making an automation system for these blocks or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I have behind me right now. So this is what I worked on yesterday. This is the automation system. This is not fully complete. Like I said, I forgot about the white dye, so I got to stick the white dye in there somewhere. That's gonna be a little bit difficult to pull off as well. Now that I'm looking at it, you know what I'm saying? No, I'll be able to pull it off because I could just bring it out. And I wanted this to be half a chunk, but it's not half a chunk. You know what I'm saying? That's my little design challenge or whatever. That's what I always try to do. I got it in mostly half a chunk, but these cables right here, this cable right here is I can't do anything with. You know, I will have to basically change the orientation of this entire multi-block. Change the controller to be over here, which I didn't feel like doing because it's not a lot of what's the name. I just didn't feel like doing it at the time, so I just extended it out one more block. But from here to here is 8 blocks wide. You know what I'm saying? With this initial side right here, that's what I put the tabs on here for. It's 9 blocks wide, and this is most of the automation. You know what I'm saying? Most of it, I still have to do the modular routers in order to get the components all the way down to these mechanical crafters down here. You know what I'm saying? But this all works. You know what I'm saying? So let me turn it on and showcase how it works. Alright, so I just turned on the power system right there. That power system is for these mechanical saws right here. You know what I'm saying? And then this one right here. There we go. It's for the mechanical crafters. Right, I had to do 2 separate power systems. It's actually 3 separate power systems. You got the 2 water wheel arrays, and then you have the solar panels, as always. You know what I'm saying? Got a couple solar panels over here. So, and I want to kind of do this a little bit organized. That's why I'm talking about the power system right now. I got this 3 solar panels over here. Energy converters converting FE power into EU power, and those are powering my extractors. You know what I'm saying? The extractors are all for the large farms. And going back over here, this is where I actually started at when I built this. You know what I'm saying? In the future, I might just do this on stream, but I don't know how long these videos will be or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I mean, do it on camera or whatever, so it's visible or whatever. But this is 5 large rock crusher multi-blocks, and they all being wall shared. Wall shared means that it's a 3x3 right there. You know what I'm saying? So this is the controller for the next one, but it's sharing this wall right here with this one. You know what I'm saying? That just reduces the material cost for actually building this. This in itself is not really difficult to build. You know what I'm saying? I have all these, basically most all of these components on hand already. You know what I'm saying? This is just nothing but red steel. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit of a process to make red steel. You know what I'm saying? But it's not too bad. You know what I'm saying? So red steel is just rose gold, brass, steel dust, and black steel dust. You know what I'm saying? And most of this is really easy to make. You know what I'm saying? These are mostly all alloys. You know, brass is the easiest alloy to make out of it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, out of all of this. You know what I'm saying? But it's not too hard. I already have all of this on hand already. You know what I'm saying? Because I bulk crafted it. You know what I'm saying? And in order to get this to work, obviously you need a controller block. I have auto maintenance blocks. You know what I'm saying? These so I don't have to apply maintenance to the actual block. They can automatically clean itself. Then you have the input hatches, 2 different input hatches. You know what I'm saying? One with water in it, one with lava in it, and then you need the actual block that you're making. So this is essentially a multi-block cobblestone generator. That's what it is. This is a stone generator, you know what I'm saying? And then down here is whatever block that you're trying to make, you know what I'm saying, in the input bus. So that's a stone block down there. and it's basically the same, repeating all the way down. And then the actual output bus is right under here, right next to the super chest right here. You know what I'm saying? And in order for this to work properly, you have to have a proper buildup of items inside of here. So I have 21,700 and whatever, you know what I'm saying, stone inside of it. I had to wait for that to build up in order for this to work properly. You know what I'm saying? So this is automatically generating stone, and then we split in the stone. You know what I'm saying? Some of it's getting sent to the mechanical saw, and the mechanical saw is configured right here. You see the stone slab right on it. You know what I'm saying? To make only stone slabs. You know what I'm saying? And then the other half is being pulled out and sent into here. You know what I'm saying? Sent it to a separate super chest or whatever. Each one of these super chests holds 8 million items, so you'll never fill this up anytime soon. I wish this was a separate mod by itself, you know what I'm saying? And not just a GT thing, because this is the best. This is better than storage drawers. It just takes a little bit more to produce them. You know what I'm saying? Storage drawers is good for the early game, or anything that's like storage drawers or whatever. So in the beginning, when I was trying to automate this or whatever, I was putting these brass funnels on the mechanical saws, and I forgot that they don't work on the mechanical saws. You know what I'm saying? You need something to actually pick up. I was going to use item collectors, but then I figured out I don't really need it. You know what I'm saying? So what I did is just put these polished deep slate slabs or whatever around it. You know what I'm saying? So just regulate the flow of control the flow a little bit more of items or whatever. So you know what I'm saying? They just drop down in the funnels. The funnels go straight into super chest, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that's the first two components that, already done to make the whistling. You know what I'm saying? The idea was to use all these 5 to make all the different types of blocks. And when I was designing this, I kind of forgot about that. And because you need the dies to be separate and everything else and all of that stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? But I will have to make another set of mechanical crafters. I need 5 sets of mechanical crafters for just to make the base block itself. You know what I'm saying? Now I can still do that, but that means I need to make a whole another separate system. You know what I'm saying? And for the most part, I still could do that because I still have another 8 chunks. 8 blocks. You know what I'm saying? The reason why, if anybody's confused, the reason why I do this in chunks, you know what I'm saying? Let me turn on the chunk borders, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So you can see it right here. You know what I'm saying? The reason why I do this in chunks is just you could just chunk load just this one chunk. I don't have to chunk load multiple chunks. I said I wasn't gonna do this, build more buildings and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? But it's fine, you know what I'm saying? I can see what's all the components of what's going on. That's the whole reason why it's in 8 chunks, because I can see everything that's going on, and if there's an issue anywhere, I can easily address it. You know what I'm saying? So I might end up making a secondary system to make to still utilize this. You know what I'm saying? My solution temporarily was just to have this right here is for that base Xtone tiles, this tile right here. You know what I'm saying? Because the way you make this is like this. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why it's like this. You know what I'm saying? You need 7 of them. And I might have to change this anyway, because like I said, I gotta install another one. So this is probably gonna be taken out. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, let's do that now so I don't forget that. And we need to change the direction of this. Everything goes to the left. And then I need to change the connections in the back. I need the regular wrench. The reason why I'm doing this is because I still need the white die. One of them for the white die or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Alright, so what this means is that I just send the die into the middle, and then all the stone blocks around this, you know what I'm saying, all the Xtone tiles to every other section or whatever. So this changes it into a 3x3, and it's basically set up for the entire thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I set up the initial, got them all running, and they all running at 256. You know what I'm saying? RPMs. You know what I'm saying? Which is the max speed that you can run anything. And I'll give an explanation real quick for the reason why there's so many water wheels. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Matter of fact, let me do that right now. Alright, so the calculation, I had to calculate this, you know what I'm saying? This is where math starts coming in, you know what I'm saying? So I have 8 water wheels, you know what I'm saying? 8 water wheels in one line and 16 in one section, you know what I'm saying? So what I did is I had to do the calculations, you know what I'm saying? The math on that. So down here is where I started at. So I got 6 3x3s, which represents these sections over here. And I just ran them with a creative motor, you know what I'm saying, at 256 RPMs, you know what I'm saying. So over here is how you're gonna calculate that, you know what I'm saying. The gray number to the right is how much total stress that you have in the system, and the green number is how much remaining stress that you have in the system. So what you do is you take the gray number and then you minus the green number. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you get how much stress this is actually using. So when I did that, I got 27,000, a little over 27,000 stress units that I'm using, which means that I need to produce about 30,000 stress units. So that's when I did the math on this. I took each one of these small wheels, you can see in the dialogues, 256 stress units. So 256 times 16. You know what I'm saying? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 256 times. Actually, I had this at 9. That's the reason why I'm doing it. 256 times 16. You know what I'm saying? That gives you a total amount of stress units for this particular layer, and then you multiply it. And then when I did the math on that, I needed about 14 layers. 14 layers to produce close to 30,000. You know what I'm saying? Like I said in the beginning, I had 9, and it was extended a chunk. Out of chunk. That's the reason why I did the math again and see if I could reduce everything to 8. And then I did the math, and it turns out that this is producing like a little over 28,000 stress units. So that's enough to satisfy all these mechanical crafters. You know what I'm saying? Because all these mechanical crafters require a certain amount of stress units to run properly, and then the speed controller requires the most amount of stress units to run if you're gonna try to run it at 256, like I said, which is max speed. You know what I'm saying? If you right click on this, you get to see it's max speed. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I needed. That's how I got so many water wheels. You know what I'm saying? That's where the math part of the engineering thing comes in. And as you can see, this is 256 stress units. Good enough to run all of these and run an extra 2 at 256 RPMs. You know what I'm saying? But that's also the reason why I couldn't use just one system. And the other reason why I used small water wheels is because they're a lot more compact and it's less of a footprint. If I was to use larger water wheels, which produce up 512 stress units, then I wouldn't be able to make it this compact. You know what I'm saying? It would be a lot larger. You know what I'm saying? And just from testing and just in general, you know what I'm saying, using these mods or whatever, the smaller ones are actually more stable than the larger ones. When it comes to the larger ones, you can get a lot of glitches and stuff like that, which happened to me multiple times in this particular world. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't use the large ones anymore. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, the smaller ones are more compact. You know what I'm saying? Requiring less space. That's what a smaller footprint actually means. And yeah, so this particular power system is just for that. And then I didn't want to clog up how much stress units I have in the network. You know what I'm saying? Even though I made this one, this particular set first, but this set is just designed specifically for the mechanical source. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't really do the calculations on how much stress I needed with the mechanical saws, but I know they use a lot, so I just did this right here. You know what I'm saying? That's like a default one that I usually build or whatever. But yeah, so now to explain the logistics, you know what I'm saying? A little bit about the logistics. All right, so you have the stone I talked about already being produced here. You know what I'm saying? We're getting two different products out of that: stone slabs, and we're getting regular stone blocks. You know what I'm saying? Then the next thing is the dies. You know what I'm saying? So this right here is a 5x5 large form. This is one of the base multi blocks right here. You can see it running right here. All you have to do is put some flowers into the input bus, and then it'll automatically reproduce those flowers. You know what I'm saying? It'll reproduce those flowers as long as you have, as long as it's daylight. As soon as it turns nighttime, everything stops working. You know what I'm saying? So over here is the output bus. You know what I'm saying? I have it turned upwards. You know what I'm saying? Turn upwards into a mechanical. A super chest. You know what I'm saying? So this is basically a buffer. This holds as many as it can. You know what I'm saying? And I learned to do this because I built a couple of these, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You need to always have a buffer no matter what you're doing. And then we sending those automatically. You know what I'm saying? This is being automatically output from this side to extractor. The extractor is basically making dye out of these flowers. You know what I'm saying? Then we send that dye from this machine into this one. You know what I'm saying? Into this is basically a machine. That's a chest, but And then this is where we're collecting all our dyes in order to use. You know what I'm saying? So this product and these products are all was gonna be sent down to the mechanical crafters. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I haven't finished setting this up completely, but it's mostly done. You know what I'm saying? About 95% done. And we just do basically the same for every other color. So this right here, you know what I'm saying? This white tulip turns into light gray dye. And we got that one set up down there. You know what I'm saying? Then we got the orange tulip being turned into orange dye. And then down here we doing bamboo. You know what I'm saying? The bamboo is for one of these Xtone tiles that I showed that uses sticks. Because if you send two of these into a mechanical crafter, you can make sticks. You know what I'm saying? With bamboo. And bamboo was easier to do than making an entire wood farm. You know what I'm saying? I just needed something that that's a little bit more compact than just making a tree farm or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I did that. You know what I'm saying? That's what this is representing of. The bamboo's gonna get sent here, turned into sticks, and sent over there. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically most all of this done. Down here is the reason why I did this is for gravel. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to do the forge hammer thing. Cobblestone generated to a forge hammer and all of that and everything else. So I just made one of these. You know what I'm saying? I could have did something smaller because it turns out that I still needed lava and I needed water. You know what I'm saying? And the one thing I had to change recipe wise was I had to enable this magmatic accumulator. You know what I'm saying? This is that's an add-on mod for thermal expansion. You know what I'm saying? By default in this pack, this particular block is deactivated. You can't craft this block. You know what I'm saying? So I just turned it on in the recipes so we can make it. You know what I'm saying? Because I just wanted a small block with a smaller footprint that I can make a lot of lava out of instead of using the large stone barrels, that's another multi-block. It's 3x3x4 multi-block. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's another extra multi-block that I gotta figure out how I'm gonna fit into this footprint right here that I have. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I did. You know, the lava's getting sent over here. It's like a less than a 1% chance that it could get used up. You know what I'm saying? But there is a chance that it could get used up. Same thing with the water. You know what I'm saying? In trying to produce gravel. So that's the reason why I did this. And the benefit of having this multi-block right here, you know what I'm saying? Mind you, I have all HV parts. So this is HV input buses, output buses, input hatches, output hatches. And it's all being powered for one solar panel. You know, to have a solar panel 3 right here, same thing. Powering the energy converter. You know what I'm saying? Sending power into an HV energy hatch. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I did this, you know what I'm saying, got this set to 3, I believe. Yeah, the gold circuit on this is 3. This is the single piece of gravel. It's because if you look at the recipe, I gotta find a recipe. Oh no, let me make it right. Large seed copper works. All right, so the gold circuit is 3. NC means that it's not consumed or whatever. If I was to put a physical circuit in there, and like I said, it's 1% chance the water could get used, 1% chance the lava could get used. If it get used up, it's gonna stop. Producing gravel. But on one operation, you get 2,048 gravel. That's the reason why I made this. You know what I'm saying? So this is barely runs. You know what I'm saying? And it did run one time, and this is all I got. This is 2,048 gravel. You know what I'm saying? Just output that from there. You know what I'm saying? I barely have to really run this, and I don't really need a buffer for this. You know what I'm saying? I could just send that into the mechanical craft that needs the gravel to actually make the that particular type of Xtone tile or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I had a lot of fun actually building this, you know what I'm saying? Because this is what I like really doing, stuff like this, you know what I'm saying? Automation setups, whatever, seeing how far I can go and everything else, you know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, I built so many setups like this that now it's starting to get boring because I already know all the different components that I'm going to use, you know what I'm saying? Even this late into the pack or whatever, I'm still using these components, but it's good because this is 100% self-powered and completely independent of any outside sources or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So this can run basically forever. You know what I'm saying? Modular routers I said that I need to install. You know what I'm saying? I was doing a little test down here. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I forgot about, I didn't really know, you know what I'm saying, to be honest, I didn't really know, is that you can teleport items with a modular router. The chest or the storage block doesn't need to be next to the modular router, you know what I'm saying, and that's achievable with these cards right here, you know what I'm saying, to send and pull it, you know what I'm saying. So if I take these out, show you talking about, take the speed out, so you have a naked modular router unconfigured, you know what I'm saying, but you can right click these. You see how it has a purple box or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And you can send stuff to it, you know what I'm saying? So if I shift right click on that one, now it's going to send whatever it needs to send down there. So I shift right click that, you know what I'm saying? Throw it in there. And same thing with this, so that's the green blocks. Shift right click to that, you know what I'm saying? And if I throw these items in there, you see they automatically get pulled into the modular router, and then they get sent to the other inventory on the other side that I have get linked to. You know what I'm saying? And it sends really slowly. That's what this is for, the speed upgrade. So you throw 9 in there, you know what I'm saying? It speeds that up tremendously. And that's what I'm gonna use. I wish I knew about this before instead of running like multiple pipes all over the place. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm gonna use to pull all of this and send this down into well, I need to make a separate setup, but to use this and send it to another mechanical crafter setup, you know what I'm saying, to make these Xtone blocks or whatever, you know what I'm saying. And now that I'm looking at it, I need another 5. Yeah, because each one of these is a color. Except one of them is a stick. Yeah, I need another 5. So that's gonna be another set of this right here. You know what I'm saying? But this is not an issue to actually build this up because it's not an issue to build this up because I have the copy paste gadget. You know what I'm saying? So all I would need to do is to showcase let me turn everything off first so there's no kind of issues. Turn that off. This takes a minute to turn off because it takes a minute for that water to drain. Forgot what it is. It's funny when you forget where you put stuff and you the one who designed it. Yeah, so it's gonna take a minute for all of this to turn off. But what I would do with the copy paste gadget is maybe I could throw it to the side. I need to set up the mechanical crafters first, but just as a listener, right click. That green block represents the one area, and you have to do a 3D shape. So the top right, and then the bottom left, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's how you get your shape. And down here is where I want to go. So now all of this is highlighted. You know, so also highlighting all the water wheels, and that's what we're gonna copy. Then you go into the listener, and this is the entire thing. You know what I'm saying? So all I have to do, this is all ghost blocks. It's not gonna place as long as I don't right click. And say if I want to rate, like right around here on this level, you know what I'm saying? Just anchor that so it doesn't move. You know what I'm saying? I'll go into the settings, and then now this is where I can shift around, and we need to go on the x-axis. Then we need to shift it forward a little bit. And right now I'm just confirming it so I can see where it's gonna go. And as soon as I press right click, it will print this entire thing. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I'm gonna have to do is I need to shift this forward one. Yeah, to make sure all of this, I have space to put all of this in. And then that's it, you know what I'm saying? Need to shift this forward one more time. And then the only thing I need to do is figure out where I'm going to put the mechanical crafters for this. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, they all need to go to 5 of them. So, situation like this, I could space it out a little bit more, but I kind of like it where it's at. It's fine. And I could put the mechanical crafters in the front. And a lot of this, me just actually fitting stuff inside of what's the name is all based on like packing trucks and stuff like that back in the day or whatever. Just, you know what I'm saying, figure out the footprint, and then you figure out how far you can put things. Let's see where this is at. So all of this is gonna come up, and I don't want it too far away. You know what I'm saying? And everything's gonna set its own individual product, well, individual section of blocks into down there. You know what I'm saying? I could just put this sideways so it makes a lot more sense. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense, just to have it like that, so I can see what's going on a little bit better. Alright, so that, what, 3... Alright, so that's all 5 right there, right? And I keep the chunk borders up so I know what I'm working in, how much space I got. Alright, so now this can go in. see, it just puts everything right in there. No water buckets, so I have to put the water buckets back in. No levers, I need to put the water lever back in. So levers in, and now I need this. I need to connect both these sides to consolidate the power with the chain drive. Need the modular, rotational speed controller. And what I have it on this one? You're gonna put it in the same place. So, like I said, any issues I could diagnose it. Add this to that. Switch this to 256. Stop adding extra blocks. I set to 256 and wrong one. Set this one to 256. I need one of these. Maybe not need that, but I'm just gonna leave it there, right there, for aesthetic purposes. And then I need to run this upwards. You know what I'm saying? So this is not gonna come off of here. This needs to go up here, and I gotta figure out where I want to put still got space over here, so maybe right here. That's where everything gets collected at. And these aren't really, this is an MV super chest or whatever, so these aren't an issue. I got a ton of these already, but I could still make more. And like I said, they just require MV circuits, and I still have the MV, the infinite MV circuit generator, you know what I'm saying, if I ever run out, you know what I'm saying, but I have plenty in there. And this is nothing but just aluminum, you know what I'm saying, aluminum plates here, easy to make, you know what I'm saying, aluminum rods, you know what I'm saying, more plates, real easy to make. And they hold 8 million items. And this is the second tier of the super chest. These are super chest 2s. The super chest 1s are even easier to make, you know what I'm saying, but I have a ton of aluminum, I'm not using it, so, you know what I'm saying. So now we can get rid of all of this. We don't need any of this anymore. Alright, and I'm gonna need the wrench. And we're gonna change everything to go down into the chest. And always make everything go to the left or the right, you know what I'm saying, every level, because it's just easier than trying to, you know, because you can change all these directions to go everywhere, you know what I'm saying. So everything goes to the left and then it goes down. Like I said, I'm not going to do the entire thing on camera, but I want to show a little bit more of my design process and how I design things, and just so people can see that, yes, I am designing all of these things myself, you know what I'm saying. Alright, so in the back of this, now we got to get rid of these connections. Alright, so all the stone is going to go here, whatever product in the middle, any dies or whatever is going to go in the middle. No. Let me take a look at the recipe, make sure I got that correct. No, I need this, you know what I'm saying. Alright, so that's going to be multiple pipes too. Alright, so we need to get rid of mechanical crafters. Alright, so this one here and this one right there. And this is what I like about the design process, because you might not have everything right the first time, but it's not about having it right the first time, it's about making sure it works. No matter what you do, what you got to do to make it work, you know what I'm saying. Alright, so now we're gonna move this up here. So now we move them up. Now we need to figure out how we're gonna do this. You know what I'm saying? So this goes down. This goes up. We just need to switch these to go up. So these go up, and it goes this way, this way, and then down. I make sure all our connections are correct. Alright, so the way these mechanical crafters work is these are like chests. They place a singular item, you know what I'm saying? So you place an item in each one of these slots, and then they move in whatever direction that you change these arrows to be. And when they move together, they smash them together, and form the product, you know what I'm saying? But basically just more an aesthetic way to showcase that this is a crafter, you know what I'm saying? Alright, so this is how we want everything to be, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get rid of this one, this connection down here, this connection right here, and that connection right there. And it's important that this part is actually done because we're piping all of these items into these mechanical crafters. Alright, so that part is done. Alright, so now we need to power these crafters. So for that, I'm gonna get a cog and get a shaft. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna place the cogs here, and we're gonna run the shafts through them, which is gonna power all of them at the same time. And then now this is where we need to connect it to. I'm gonna end up moving this. We're gonna connect it to our rotational speed control. Alright, so speed this back up to 256. Now I need a vertical gearbox, and this is gonna run power into it, and then that power is gonna go upwards, and that's what we want. So we run shafts upwards, and then we're gonna run into another vertical gearbox like that, and connect it like that. And then the only other thing I need to do is put some slabs on top of this so nothing can spawn up here. And the way I can visualize that is with not that button, but the F7 button. Put the numbers mode on, and this shows you if anything can spawn up here. So it can. Alright, so now nothing can spawn because it's all bottom slabs. Down here with these, I'm gonna come in here with these in a minute. Oh no, I don't need to. I have a light fixture over there. Alright, so that's basically set up, and if we put our water buckets in, we should be able to test it. And this is something that I always do as well. I test it while I'm building it to make sure it works as much as I can. Make sure it works properly the way it's intended. You know what I'm saying? But I already know it does because I don't really build things that are I don't polish as many systems. You know what I'm saying? So this entire water wheel system, the way I designed it, this is a system that I designed a while ago, and I just kept refining it over and over and over. You know what I'm saying? So you hit that. That sends a run through a stone post through all these blocks to the dispensers, and as you can see, everything is running. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I forgot to do, which is the reason why you test things regardless, is to actually put blocks down here to encase the water. So all this is running perfectly fine. You know what I'm saying? Running at max 256. And now we could just come in here, hit that switch, turn everything off, and build up the water chamber, you know what I'm saying, to encase it. So I will have to build this on a flat surface, you know what I'm saying, or I can elevate it and then put another platform in the bottom. So let me check how we're already 45 minutes into this. Alright, so there we go. And the only thing I have to do now is put a thing underneath this. So I'm not going to build the modular routers in this video. You know what I'm saying? I could, I got 15 minutes or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to extend the video to be too long. You know what I'm saying? It's already longer than most of the videos that I put out. So this is what we're going to do right here. Bang. One of my water wheels broke. That's from the water being shifted in different directions. Alright, so that's good enough to encapsulate all of the water. And that's basically good. You know what I'm saying? So now if I turn this on, the water's not going to spill out everywhere. And there you go. Now we turn this off. The water drains only in one direction, so it shouldn't break any water wheels. Also, when to extend this, I have to remember that this is an extra block over. So one of these can't go out to here. This is the max that it can go to. Alright, so from here to there is 16 blocks. That equals one chunk. And we're not going over, so we're good. So we just extend this line, get rid of this, and that's basically good right there. That's one chunk right there. So this will all fit inside of one chunk. Alright, so now after this, I have to install the modular routers. And I don't know where I really want to put those yet. You know what I'm saying? But this is already good. I just need to feed this into these, you know what I'm saying? And realistically, I could use the modular routers up here as well. Now that I'm thinking about it. Let's see how it works out. Alright, so it's gonna be more chests. I need a sender module, I need a puller module, and I'm using Mach 3s. And the puller module I'm using Mach 2s, that's the max. And I need the speed upgrades. Let's get a stack of these. Let's get 2 stacks of these. And where do I want to put this? Because I'm going to need 5 different modular routers. I have one sending to this one. Oh no, I'm gonna need double. I'm gonna need double routers. It might make more sense just to save the modular routers down there. And this is where the design philosophy start coming in, because these modular routers only take one item, have a buffer for one item right here. So you can't send 2 items into it, and I need to send slabs and the regular stone blocks into them. You know what I'm saying? And I will need 2 different routers for each one of these, so that's 10 routers. You know what I'm saying? And then I need all these upgrades and speeder puller upgrades and stuff like that, which aren't easy in this pack to actually create. You know what I'm saying? Not super easy to create because a good chunk of them have been Gregified. No, these aren't Gregified at all. Those are the base recipes. It's easier to make. I just don't want to do 10 when I could just run regular pipes over there. You know what I'm saying? So we're not gonna use these right now. I want to save these though. You're not gonna use pipes for that part. I mean modular routers for that part, but we might use the modular routers to send them down there. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get too crazy with the pipes either. You know what I'm saying? Because GT pipes aren't good for schematics or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Alright, but I'm gonna have to use GT pipes. So you need regular item pipes. And I don't really need really fast pipes because they only take one item at a time anyway. The mechanical crafters. So scroll down and I always try to look for a pipe that's easy to produce. You know what I'm saying? So the small Cooper nickel or the small brass pipes are the easiest ones to produce right now. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't really matter. You know, the small pipes, the reason why I'm using them because the transfer rate is 30 screw items per second. You know what I'm saying? I don't need any pipe that's larger than that. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, mechanical crafters can only hold one stack or whatever. And then we got the conveyors. We need a conveyor module to go on the ends of the pipes. That's going to provide the logic. You know what I'm saying? So I could use larger ones than this, but like I said, you know what I'm saying, it doesn't really matter, you know what I'm saying. So we're gonna use I should have spaced these out more because what I could do is just send them to have a buffer, you know what I'm saying, but I don't really need it. It's fine. So these three right here are gonna get connected, and then these three, so I need two different pipes, you know what I'm saying. So should have spaced this out more, honestly. It still could work, but it's gonna be tough. And I'm gonna need a wrench. And then we're gonna connect this one right here. I might have to spray paint these so I know what's going on. This needs to connect to this side, so I'm also using GT pipes because they're not going to connect to these type of pipes. If I use the regular pipes, then it'll connect to everything under the sun. I have to configure it for that. Ah, come on. Alright, bang. And then right there. So this one right here is the issue, because I gotta be able to get to this. So maybe just run these pipes on top and run this pipe on top. And if I run it over one, it doesn't make sense not to run it over the other one. So right there, and then connect this down to this one. And now I have an open spot to run the middle one, the middle pipe. And we're gonna connect all of those to this. So all around, we run the stone blocks are gonna go into the middle. I'm going to connect that up to this one right here. And this is where it's going to get, what's the name? It's not too bad, but this is a little bit of finagling, you know what I'm saying, to get this to work. And then, the easiest way to run this is run this one to this one right here. You can just mirror that. and I kind of think it'd be better off with the spray paint. I wasn't gonna put it on here, but it makes no sense to put spray paint. Alright, so we're just gonna use black spray, and you're gonna use white spray. Keep it simple. I don't want too many crazy colors. Alright, so down here, if you shift right click, you can color the entire thing. So black white from the bottom, and then we're gonna just try to mirror it. Alright, next thing is make sure that this is working. So we're gonna throw our conveyors at the end of these. Actually, I don't really need conveyors, honestly, because I believe you could just output to the pipe. Yeah, you can output to the pipe because that just went right in. So I don't even need the conveyors. Alright, that's fine. Let's break that. Add that there. Repaint that. And send that on, and there we go. That's the design that we need. That's good to go. From here though, getting all of this down to these mechanical crafters is going to be tricky though. That's the reason why I need the modular routers. Alright, let's do that, and we're going to do that for these right here. So same thing. Got the two tops over this one, down here, down there. And right there. I'm gonna have to break these to connect them. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I gotta break it to connect it. And I'll do that right there. And let's set up the rest of them. So bang, bang. Bang, stand that one down. Bang, bang. Alright. Bang, stand this one down. Bang. Alright. Now we can start connecting everything up. So this goes over here. Now we're gonna run it from up. Alright, now connect this. Alright, now we can do a pipe in the middle. And that's going up. We'll come right back to that in a minute. And we need to extend this one up. Alright, this gets connected down there. And now we can run the pipe. Alright, so got a thing. This goes out like that. And what out there, run it up. I could read them right around this, but it doesn't matter. Connect it right there. good. This one looks good. Same thing with this. Alright, that's all that connected. And now we gotta connect the top part. Why is this connected? And it's nice and neat. Still spaghetti, but it's compact, neatly organized spaghetti. Alright, so now we just color our pipes. Alright, and that's that for that. We also need to set the outputs. These I'm gonna have to reset when I build this up in the world, because G2 pipes get wonky when you try to set things up, especially without conveyors. For whatever reason, they don't work properly. Alright, so now we do the test run. Make sure all of this is good. That's in there. I see the middle's in there. Middle's in there. Middle's in there. Alright. Alright, so the show will be set up now. So now we turn all of this on. There we go. Getting our blocks. Alright, so now we gotta run everything into we gotta take the dies, run the dies into the mechanical crafters. This is gonna be extremely compact. Trying to get all of this in here. Maybe I should take this line right here and run it across the top. That's what I'm feeling like. It will make more sense to run it through the top. So I got this space right here. Put a gear right there. That should be good. Let's turn this on, make sure this side works. Yeah, it's good. And all that's good. Put this one right there. We're already in the hundreds that fast. So like 30 seconds. I'm already in the hundreds. Alright, so same thing, I'm gonna separate these, one for each section. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully the modular routers can go that far. You know what I'm saying? I know one of them is 24 blocks. You know what I'm saying? Alright, I really don't like these being naked like this. You know what I'm saying? You most likely could pull these from the bottom. These could get pulled out from the bottom, so I could just cover them. Alright. Oh no, I forgot I need one more for white. I forgot I needed one more for white. Alright, where to put it though, that's the issue. Where am I gonna put that? I got this space right here. I can do that space up there. That's and this is how I'm gonna measure this out. This is how I usually always measure stuff out. So we're gonna come all the way to the end of the chunk. I want a little bit of gap in here. And where am I at? Right here. We can come out with one more. One more be the end. Yeah. Alright, so from right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, and close it up right there. And then we got one line running through the middle, and that is so they can hold the water, because it needs a water source in the middle. So we put the block right there, and we got our terminal to automatically build it. Throw that in there right there. Put this back. Fill this out. Alright, now we need a water bucket, and we need a hoe. Alright, water go right there. That's what this line right here was for, to hold the water in. And now we need to till all of this, and then it turns into the multiplier. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is get rid of these input buses and throw those on the front. Let's put the ULV ones. I never use the ULV because it doesn't auto output. That's why I'll never use them. Doesn't matter here though. Alright, throw those in the front. And then we need the LV output. I'm going to have this point upwards, and we get on that. Now we need to just cover this up. That's the main thing I always want to do, is cover this up to make sure nothing doesn't have the capability to spawn anything, even though I already know it can't. And one other thing is I always do something like this, because a lot of times when I build these up, I end up walking on the soil, and that completely breaks the farm, because it turns the soil back into regular dirt blocks. So I always do something like that, so you can't step on it. Fill this in, and now this is good. Now, what is it, bone meal? Get white dye. was. Can you get it from the white tulip? Run this through the extractor. No, that's light gray. So how do you get the white? Lily of the valley. Alright, so in order to make this work, you only need 8. Always put in a stack because it doesn't really matter. And then this is good. It's up and running. So now I just need one of these. Throw that right here. It's gonna output to that. And I'm gonna need another extractor for that. So the extractor is gonna go right here. And I don't need any more solar panels, even though I could stick another one on, but I don't really need it, you know what I'm saying? And we can just run this wire over here. And this aluminum wire is superconductor wire, so it doesn't lose power over distance. I always use superconductor, and I just learned just to use superconductor. Don't even use any other wires. It's a waste of time. Get rid of that. You're gonna need a pair of wire cutters. Connect that up. This is getting power. And now we're gonna send this into that. And what am I doing? Putting them in the back. Yeah. And get another one of these. Put this over there. And have this output to that. Alright, so now that's good. We got our white dot coming in. We got everything else coming in. Everything's moving. Everything's good. Why is this looking funny? Oh, that was just for that. Alright, never mind. Looking at the gear, why is the gear moving faster on this one and not that one? Alright, so so that's good. That's all basically done. You know what I'm saying? This is gonna be a chunk wide build. I thought it was gonna be a little bit smaller, but it's not. It is what it is. And what do we need to do now? We need to run all of these with modular routers down there. And this is the part that I'm dreading. Alright, so let's do this one by one. I'm not going to need I'm not gonna need puller modules because I can just output directly to the modular routers themselves. Get rid of that. And I'm gonna need a stack of pullers. Let's not destroy that right now. Let's get some senders. Let's get some senders. Let's get a stack of senders. Puller. A stack of senders. And I'm gonna throw the modular routers right here. See if I can do it this way. And I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And spread these out. They all go into different positions. We're gonna get this to output downwards into the modular router. So we got a stack there. Alright, we got a stack in the buffer of each one of them. And we're going to gotta do this in a row. I'll make sure I got the battle plan set up correctly. The sticks need to go there. And let's do the sticks while we're here. Get that out the way first. Put a modular router right there. It's gonna output to the modular router. Throw that on top of there. Get a sender. Somebody calling me. I don't know what number that is. Alright, I need a wrench. I'm gonna get rid of this connection back here. Can I not get rid of this connection? Can't get rid of that connection. Maybe because it's just two. Alright, anyway, what we're gonna do is not use the modular router for this one. What we're gonna do is use regular pipe, and we're gonna use the regular pipes for the pipe mod right here. And what we're gonna do is add that there and bring this backwards. Then we're gonna bring it down to here and here. And I don't want them to conflict with that, so bring that over one. And now we need to upgrade. The advanced upgrade. We're gonna pull that out, and we're gonna stick this in here and set this to round robin so it can hit both there, and there we go. And we're making sticks. Alright, so that's done. Next thing is the sticks had to go into one of them. Alright, got my fingers crossed, hopefully this works. Alright, so first things first, we're gonna set this to right here. So right here. It's the sender, right? I can't send this in. You cannot send it in, which means I need an inventory. Damn, that sucks. Alright, we're gonna need some more chests. So I can send it directly to a mechanical crafter. Can't. Alright, send it right here. We're gonna need two. Each one of these is gonna need two. And we're still gonna need a pipe. Or maybe not. I don't want to cover this up though, that's the thing. Yeah, I don't want to cover that up. I want to be able to at least see what's going on right there. Let me check this number real quick. Yeah, it's not a number I know. Alright, so same thing, we're gonna add this right here. I feel like it's better from the bottom and not from the top. Yeah, we're gonna do it from the bottom. Let's get rid of this for a second. Let's get rid of this. Put these back. Yeah, that makes more sense. Alright, so still gonna have to run a pipe down here. Let's take a look at the regular pipe. See if this connects to the front. Hopefully it doesn't. Nope, it's no good. I mean, I could still use it. I have to just configure it. Might just use GT pipe though. Alright. And all I gotta do is just connect that. I don't gotta connect that because that's gonna send directly to this. Alright, now it's good to go. Alright, so now we need to set the outputs on this. And first I want to see if this can output directly up. If I'm not bugging. Of course I did not want to do that. Let's throw this in. Yep, it works. Alright. That works. Alright. I'm going to set this to output backwards into the pipe. It's good to go. And so this is completely set up. That's completely set up. Now we just got to get our what's the name is correct. And from here, these I'm probably gonna send into the A system, A2 system. Mind you, every single one of these blocks gets 8 blocks. It makes 8 blocks. If you send it to the middle, you put the stone around it. It's gonna make 8 of them. You know what I'm saying? So whatever this is, times that by 8. That's how many blocks. Alright, so back up to the modular routers again. Put that there. And let's do the first one. I wanna make sure I got this correct. Got 5 right there. The back one, we're going from the back. This one to this one. So we're going to do the top row first. And we're going to send that to here. Come on, why you're not? What did I do down here? Yeah, I'm not bugging. So what's the issue? Why you don't wanna? That's not what I'm doing. Alright, maybe I have to not float in the air. Just because I'm floating in there. Alright. Alright, so we're gonna do that, set that. This is the one I set up right here. Alright, so that's set up. Now let's see if this actually worked. And it did work. It did work. Beautiful light. And it's filling this up. And the only thing I gotta do after that is set up the just put speed upgrades in that first, and then I need to set up the colors. But before we put the speed upgrades in, let's what we're gonna do? Maybe do the sticks first, because the sticks will go straight to the we're gonna do the sticks. The sticks will go straight to that. And again, use a trusty. No, it's not gonna go to that. It's gonna go down here. Is that gonna interfere with anything? This is in the way. That's in the way. You're gonna need modular router. You're gonna need the modular router. Alright. Get that one right there. Put that there. Then we're gonna get put this right there. And now we can throw that into here, right? And then we're gonna need a do we need a puller? No, we don't need a puller. We just need a pipe. And then we set that to that's gonna sticks, and that is working. Everything's working, and we're getting our blocks. So we got one down, and this is the actual what's the name? That's down. That's working, and let's set up the rest. All right, so one's down. This is knocked off the list. This one is blue dye. I remember that. So we're gonna set that one up. And where's our blue dye? Our blue dye is up here. Alright, so we need a router right there. It's gonna send the blue dye into there. And then we're gonna send this into, maybe I just should set up the middles first and then go back to worry about the stone blocks. I need an indicator to know where everything is going. Yeah, I'm gonna need an indicator to know where everything is going. These don't matter, but these matter. Alright, so we're gonna do what I used to do before with the concrete method. Or maybe look at the lights. Do I have any of these? Yeah, I already made these. Yeah, those are the regular illumination panels. I did it with concrete though. Let's just do the color concrete. Where are we gonna put it though? Yeah, we're gonna do the color concrete. Alright, so we'll do yellow first. You know, see, this is the yellow one. So the yellow line right there. That's done right there. And we're also gonna set it over here, might as well. That's to the yellow, right? The next one we're doing is blue. We're doing the blue. So the blue is going to go right here. That's the blue. And the modular right here. Oh, am I correct? We need modular out of there. Anyway, so then go to blue. And where's our blue dye at? Blue dye is all the way at the top, up here, and that's gonna be blue. Right, yep. Alright, so we gotta send the module. Send the module, send it into right there. Can I step on this? Can I step on this? Yeah. Right there. Throw that in there. Now I know this is sending. And we got a blue dot. Next thing is to take another one and send that to right here. And I need a block for this. And it's gonna go to a blue. And there we go. We got a, oh, yo, why is it producing that? That's not the one I wanted. That's definitely not what I wanted. I think I have to do gravel first. Is that the one I have to do gravel first? No, you got to do the white with this first. The white, and then you run it with blue dye. All right, so we're gonna switch this out to something else. Take that out. Trash that. Get rid of the boot. The blue dye. Take this out. How many's in there? Oh, okay. Alright. So that's not gonna be blue. How was this one made? I got an issue with this one as well. It makes those with the orange. And then you gotta run this through the stone cutter. that's gonna be difficult. Alright, so what about the other ones? It's not gonna be difficult, it's just I don't feel like doing it. They all gotta be run through stone cutters. Yep, they all gotta be run through. I didn't see. Alright, so I didn't consider that. I should have went back and looked at the recipes or whatever. So now that means I need another power system for another set of mechanical saws, which means more water wheels, which is not particularly an issue. You know what I'm saying? Not really an issue, but I don't feel like doing it right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't feel like doing that right now. Alright, so what I'm gonna do for the meantime is just shut this down. So the only thing I really gotta set up, I might have to redo the pipes when I go to actually build this from a schematic. These pipes right here, I have to break and reconnect them, and I'm gonna have to reset the sender modules. You know what I'm saying? Because they need to be reset because they're set to specific coordinates in this particular world. So I gotta set those coordinates on my survival base. I should have put this a little bit closer, but I'm not about to move it right now. I'm not about to move it, period. Just leave it like that. And yeah, I want to get rid of this top too for aesthetic parts, aesthetic purposes, or whatever. I'm gonna get rid of this. You keep that line. I don't know why I'm doing this now, but if I don't do it now, I'm gonna forget about it. Just need to know where the edge of the chunks is at. Alright, let's turn on what's the name for this? I'll figure out what to do for the top, but I'll just leave it like this for right now. And yeah, we're gonna come back to this. So I know where I left off. Actually, I don't want this here. I do want to keep the tabs though. Keep the tabs so I know that's it's one off or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna come back to this. So the only thing I need to set up is reset this up again, and I'm gonna be able to tell because I'm sitting right here with it. What else is stuck right there doing that? Why does it still have blue dye in it? So I was thinking about just coming back when this is already finished, but I might just come back and do all of it on camera again. Whenever I come back to this, because I want to watch, a couple of shows or whatever, eat some food and all that. I don't want to do this right now. Blue dot was over here. Yeah, so I gotta come back, set this up. I'm gonna probably move this blue concrete to be a different color. more representative of what it is. But I need to set up the mechanical saws, set up another jump. You know what I'm saying? It's probably gonna be another one of these right here. So I thought I'd turn this off. And that should fit this right here. It should fit this way in front of this over here. Yeah, and then run that downwards into a set of mechanical saws. And I need a better solution because the mechanical saws, just like I said, they pop items off the top or whatever. I don't want it to pop off the top. And it seems like it doesn't want to work with the pipes, you know what I'm saying? But there's a way that I did do it before in one of my other previous builds or whatever. I just forgot what I did. So I have to figure that part out, you know what I'm saying? And then we'll come right back to this, you know what I'm saying? So I thought it was 95% done. This turns out to be, I also could set up what it was down here. Throw it down here and just route the shaft through here. Yeah, I could throw it down here. Set it down here, right here. Run the shaft through here. The only issue is I wanted to connect it with this. But I could run it to right here. And then put a gearbox right here, bend it in this direction, and then it goes into the mechanical saws. And I forgot, I gotta make the base blocks first. What was it? I gotta make the base block first. This one needs white. And then one of them needs a base block, and then you gotta run it through a mechanical saw. So I'll figure all that out when I come back. Yeah. What we looking at? Yeah, almost 2 hours. That's crazy. Yeah, so I'll figure all that out when I come back. And I'm still gonna put this up. I'm just gonna encode it into an MP4 and then throw it up, like what I've been doing with my past couple of videos.